Now, Senator Bernie Sanders, he might have said the quiet part out loud about Kamala Harris over the weekend. Listen closely.
And I will be leading the effort to make sure that we do not provide more offensive military aid to Israel. But to those people who are saying, well, I can't support Harris because she disagrees, Trump on that issue, even on that issue, is worse. He will be closer to Netanyahu. So if we are able to elect Harris, I think we're going to have an opportunity to move her on that issue, to make it clear we cannot allow children in Gaza to starve to death. She will be open to that. I doubt that Trump will.
All right, joining us now, Fox News contributor Katie Pavlich and Project 21 chairman Horace Cooper is with us. Katie, start with you. I think Bernie, again, just like Gretchen Whitmer and Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, not exactly helping Kamala Harris out, and she's not helping herself out because she can't think of a difference between her and Joe Biden. But what he's saying is he's trying to reassure people that the same Kamala Harris that co-sponsored the $93 trillion Green New Deal with him, the same Kamala Harris that co-sponsored government health care for all with him and wants the elimination of private health insurance, don't worry, we'll be able to bring her back. She's just pretty much saying anything she needs to say to get elected. That's how I interpret it. What's yours?
And that's completely accurate because Bernie Sanders in previous interviews has said exactly that. He's been asked if Kamala Harris is running away from her far left progressive record, which was more to the left in the U.S. Senate than Bernie Sanders. And he has said on the record that, yes, she's running away from it, not because she doesn't agree with those things anymore, but because she's trying to win an election, which is a nice way of saying she's lying, she's being dishonest about where she stands. And the facts are that she still is that far left radical that she was when she ran for president the first time around and couldn't get to Iowa with a single vote. This is a woman who did co-sponsor the Green New scam. This is someone who's been part of an administration that wants to take away the gas stoves of Americans and make it more difficult for them to drive the vehicles that they want. She was in favor and now says she's not, in some ways, of this electric vehicle mandate, which really isn't about saving the environment. It's about making sure the government controls where people can go and when they can travel. And so they're trying to satisfy all these different options, the far left, the moderates, the undecideds, and it seemingly looks like she's satisfying no one, given how the polls are going in the opposite direction that she needs them to just 2 weeks out from Election Day.
You know, Horace, I think Katie's onto something. She can't really be herself because deep down, she and her campaign know that if she takes her real positions and what she deeply believes in to the public on the Green New Deal, on eliminating private health care, on wide open borders, on no fracking, no drilling, defund, dismantle, no bail, reimagine, that the country will reject it. So that puts her in a very difficult position of trying to hold her base, which seems to be eroding, and also that appeal to the center of the country. And I don't think Americans trust her because by now, I think it's gotten into the American consciousness, the things that she has said that are so extreme. What are your thoughts?
Well, what we witnessed was that Bernie said the quiet part out loud. We are presented in America with an extremely far-left candidate who doesn't want us to know that she's an extremely far-left candidate. With regard to Israel, after the disastrous debate that Joe Biden had with Donald Trump, suddenly it became clear to the leaders of Israel, including Netanyahu, that there will be no real leadership in Washington, D.C. And that continues today. The good news is that Israel has been able to effectuate real target taking as a consequence of not being micromanaged and held back by either the political process in Washington, D.C., or our leadership and this administration, Mr. Joe Biden. More people who are civilians have lived because we see Israel targeting the real thugs, the real criminals, the real masterminds, instead of going on the ground. What we need is a leader who stands up and says, this is what we believe, this is what I'll advocate. We haven't been seeing any of that. And if Bernie didn't whisper the quiet part out loud, we wouldn't know that either.
Yeah, I think that's well said. All right, predictions. I'm with 15 days to go. Let's put it this way. 2 weeks from tonight will be election eve. Katie Pavlich, prediction. How will this end?
Well, first, I just want to say quickly that on the Israel question, if Kamala Harris can be pushed around by a single protester at one of her events, her campaign events, and say something that's not true, that Israel's committing a genocide, then she surely cannot be negotiating with the Iranian regime when it comes to a nuclear program which they are pursuing. But in terms of what's going to happen in 2 weeks, right now, with the combination of the early voting totals in the swing states that Trump needs to win, and the polling showing he's in a better position than he was in 2016 against Hillary Clinton and 2020 against Joe Biden, looks like the momentum's in his favor. Things, I guess, could change in 2 weeks, but it looks like he's in a very good position to win this race.
Horace?
Well, I can echo much of that, but first let me say that our organization is a nonprofit and we don't take a position. I'm going to give you Horace's prediction. And my prediction is that as more and more Americans come to terms with a binary choice, they are going to reject her. There is a reason that she was so unpopular as a vice president, and there is a reason that Joe Biden, even before we knew for sure about his cognitive decline, why his policies were so unpopular. The two are together.
If you are in Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, if you are in Arizona, if you're in Nevada, assume that your one vote will decide who the next president is. Remember, we thought we'd have a red wave in 2022. It didn't materialize. Don't take anything for granted. Katie, thank you. Horace, good to see you.